Okay. So perfect. Now that was a wonderful session, Shashi. What we'll do now is we'll get into ESC5. Same drill. What it is. What tools are you going to use to exploit this? The practical portion and the recommendations. Right. So how would you actually go ahead and fix this?
So let me first explain what is ESC5. So ESC5 is, I would say, not a direct misconfiguration of certificate authority or a certificate template. So let's suppose a scenario where you have a local administrator of the computer which is serving certificate authority. So basically, if you get hold of a user credential who is a local administrator on this computer, which is serving the certificate authority, then using the local admin rights, we can fetch the private and public keys of this certificate authority, which is saved in the registry. Since we have the local admin rights, we can do that. So once we have the private and public key of the certificate authority, we basically become the certificate authority now, and we can forge any certificate.
Okay.
So again, this is like, we also call this attack golden certificate attack. Why? Because let's say that we have, let's talk about golden ticket. Then I think it will make more sense if we talk about golden certificate. So in case of golden ticket, what we have the password hash of the KRBTG account. Using that account, we can forge the tickets, right? Same here. If we have the public and private keys of the certificate authority itself, it means we can forge any certificates. Hence, it's a golden certificate.
So you can print certificates at your will.
Right? At your will, yeah. Right. So this is what. So generally, in our engagements, what we see, there are two types of scenario in which we get hold, in which we become the local administrator on this computer. One, the first scenario is that let's suppose we have a user who has a generic right or generic all privileges on this computer object, which is serving the certificate authority. And if we have a generic right or generic all rights over this computer account, then we can use RBCD attack to impersonate a domain administrator on this computer account. And and domain administrator is again local administrator on all the computers.
Yeah. Okay.
The other scenario is let's suppose let's suppose that we find the local administrator credentials of this computer account. Again, the same thing. How and this is where password spray comes in use. Let's suppose in some other computer we find a local administrator and we dumped the hashes, and we basically use the same hash and spray it to all the computers. And let's suppose the same hash was being reused as the local administrator password hash in this computer. Again, we have the local admin rights on this computer as well. So these are some of the scenarios. Other thing, if we have the rights over this object and this container, which is this, from here it starts from here, CN equals to public key services, this container. But generally, the scenarios that I explained, these are the scenarios that comes up. And again, for enumeration, what tools we are going to be using here? For enumeration, we have our Power View, a Bloodhound, or let's say we have a AD module as well. So we can use those tools to find these misconfiguration, or we can use CrackMap exec to spray the local administrator password hash. For exploitation, we are going to use certified tool only.
Okay.
So in the scenario that I have put in my lab is basically, this is what we find most, that if a user has some rights, the generic right over this computer account that is serving the certificate authority. In my case, this certificate authority is running on a DC. So what I have given is given this user the generic right to this domain controller account. This you will not generally find, but that's how my lab is set up.
Okay, it's just for practical purposes that you have set it up this.
But generally, this certificate authority runs on a separate server. So anyway, the principles are same. So we want to become a local admin on the computer which is serving the certificate authority. So I think these are the commands that we can look at. And then again, as I said, that after we get local administrator, after we become the local administrator on this computer account, then we can use this certify to basically for the certificates. So which is what golden, I think I have done ticket here. It should be golden
certificate.
Certificate. Anyway, it's a mistake, so it's a golden certificate attack. Yeah, let's go to practical and let's see. Okay, so let's enumerate first. I think I already ran the Sharphound tool, and let's suppose in our engagement you get hold of this user. Let's say any user. Let's see, I think David is the username. Okay, and what we do, I think in our enumeration video or podcast, I have said that whenever we get to the user, what is the main thing that we check? We check the outbound object controller, and specifically this transitive object control. And if we see this David user has a generic right over this computer, which is serving the certificate authority in our case. So hence, by exploiting this RBCD attack, we can impersonate a domain administrator to access CIFS service on this computer, which is DC-02. And then what we will do, using the CIFS service, we can execute command on this. Basically, we add our users as a local administrator on that computer.
So, but you're going to be carrying out the RBCD attack, right? Okay.
So this is the scenario. So RBCD attacks is like basically if you have a user and that user or any account has generic right over a computer account, then we can change this MSDS allowed to on behalf of other identity, this property it has, and in that property we will add another account, so that using this account we can impersonate any user. So that's the RBCD, which is resource-based constrained delegation.
One question, Shashi. When you say serving the CA, what does that actually mean?
Basically, on this computer, we have installed the ADCS role.
Okay.
And this using this ADCS role, it becomes the certificate authority. The certificate authority service is running.
Okay. So that's what you mean. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So let's carry out this attack. Let me just quickly go over my commands and let's go to the ESC5. Okay. So first thing, we cannot add our user into that property, which is MSDS allowed delegate MSDS allowed to act on behalf of other identity. That's a mouthful. We cannot add our user in that. Why? Because for RBCD attack to be successful, we need an account with SPN set. Okay, that's why using the machine account quota of our user, we are going to create a machine account, and when we create a machine account, that machine account will have a SPN set.
Okay.
Hence, we can add that account into this property of this computer account.
Exactly. Okay.
Right. So let's.
But the precondition for RBCD is that you should have like
generic right or generic all,
and you should be able to create a machine account.
If the machine account quota is set to 10 or is set to 0, then you are not going to add a computer account. But there are other attack vectors which you can basically get to the hash of a computer account. I think in one of my engagement I used a shadow credential attack to basically add get to the credential or the hash of the machine account, and then I carried on.
Okay, so you'll probably have to compromise the system, get the machine account hash, and then do it. Okay.
But generally, I think I would say that 95% or 90 to 95% of our engagement, the machine account quota is set to 10. Just like when we send our report, then they are changing back to the 10. But yeah, but most of the time, if we are getting a new client, then it's 100% that this machine account quota is set to 10, because that's the default behavior of Active Directory, and no administrator care about what is the machine quota, because maybe probably they don't even know about this. So yeah, so again, using the privileges of the David user, we can create add a computer account. So let's do that. Again, I am going to be using this impackets add computer account script. Let me paste it. Same thing here. Using the privilege of this David user, I am going to creating a fake computer account. Name can be anything. It starts with the $, and then the password for this computer account, and yeah, then the credentials of our user. Let's do that. And we have successfully added fake machine account with this password. Right now we have the credentials of this machine account. Now this account has SPN set. Now we can add this account, fake account, to the MSDS allowed to delegate on behalf of other identity property of the computer account, which is DC-02. And then we can perform this RBCD attack to get to impersonate administrator on this machine account.
So basically, you could impersonate any user. Okay.
Yeah, I am going to be impersonating domain administrator because that user has the privileges to do anything in this computer account. So basically, we are going to add using the privileges of domain administrator. We are going to add our user as the local admin on this computer account. Okay, makes sense. Yeah, once we have added it, now we are going to use this packets RBCD to add to basically delegate our computer to this DC-02 computer account, which is serving the certificate authority. So let's do that. Paste. Same. Delegate from is the fake computer account that we created. Delegate to this machine account, which is serving the certificate authority. Then the DCIP action is we are going to write to the property that I just explained. And then this is the credential of our user. Okay, because why we are able to do that? Because we have the generic right over this computer account. So let's do that. So as we can see, this fake 01 is added to that, and then we can impersonate using this fake account. We can impersonate users on this DC-02 computer account. Okay. Yeah, let's do that as well. Let's impersonate a domain administrator. So we are going to impersonate domain administrator to access the CIFS service of this computer account. So let's do that. Again, in packets get service ticket script, we are going to set this SPN. CIFS, SPN it means that we want this specific service from this computer, and we are going to impersonate administrator. DCIP is the same, and this is the credentials of the fake computer account that we created. And why this account is able to impersonate it? Because impersonate any service as any user, because it has the it is now added to the MSDS, allowed to delegate it on behalf of other identity attribute of this computer account. Let's do that. Yeah, now it has created a service ticket because of that property. Now we have the service ticket of this administrator to access this specific service on this computer. So again, what we are going to do? So let me just first export this so that other tools can use it. This cache file. Paste. Basically, we are setting an environment variable so that other scripts as well as tools can use this. And then this is what I am doing here. Let me just first see whether I have the privileges to add a user or not in the local administrator group. So first, I think click OK, hit enter, and if you see, it's showing pond here. It means that we have the rights to basically we have right to this service, CIFS service, and using the CIFS service we can also execute command. So that's what I am going to do now. We are going to add our user to the local administrators group. Paste. Same thing. We are again going to use the cache file, which is here that we just exported as an environment variable, and we are going to execute this command. We are adding our user, David user, to the local administrators group on this computer, and we have the local. If we have the local administrators rights, then we can basically get to the private and public key pair of the certificate authority. So let's add it first, and yeah, the command executed successfully. And if we want to just quickly see the local administrators group now, let's wait. Yeah, now we see now the David user is added to the local administrator group, and now we are going to use certify tool. Let's see. Let me just paste it and then let me explain what this tool is doing. if we see here, first we are since we are getting to the certificate authority public and private keys, we are going to use the CA module, and we are going to use the flag backup. So this backup is going to download the public private key from the registry. And why we are able to do that? Because this user is now the local administrator on this certificate authority, which is hosted at this address. Let's do that. And if we see, we got the private key of this and it is using this private key. I think it generated a certificate and embedded the private key and basically created this certificate. So this certificate holds the private key. And once we have this, then we can perform golden certificate attack. Basically, we can forge any of the any template, right?
As any user.
Yeah,
right?
as any user.
Okay.
I don't know. Sorry, I think I made a mistake. I think we can forge any certificate of any user. Yeah. So that's what we are going to forge here. Let's do that. Yeah. So we are forging a certificate for administrator. I think let me just click here. You see, using this certificate, CS. This is the CS certificate, which has the private key. Hence, we can sign any of the certificate. So here we are basically creating a fake certificate for administrator, and then we are signing it with the private key of the this certificate authority.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's forge it.
So you would compare this to the Kabhi TGT hash, right? When you're carrying out the.
We were able to forge any of the ticket.
Okay.
Here we are. We were able to forge any of the TGTs. Here we are forging any of the certificates. So now we have the certificate of this forged certificate of this administrator. Now let's authenticate. You can also forge the DC domain controller certificate as well, and then domain controller has the DC sync rights, so you can get to all the credentials as well. So that also you can do. And let me again use this certify auth. I think I have to use this forged certificate now. I think this was the previous certificate that I created when I was exploiting ESC4. Forged. Okay, let's do that. And as we can see that with this forged certificate, we were able to get to the TGT of the administrator and to the anti-hash of the domain administrator. So this is how you can exploit ESC5. Other thing, let's suppose if we directly get hold to this user and this user has the local administrator, right? Then we don't have to exploit RBCD and all. We can directly forge the certificates.
Yeah. So I mean, you created a scenario where you could show this happening. Okay.
And let's come to the fixing part. So what you can do, basically, you just disable this. If you see this generic right over this, okay, let me just go to this. Go to here. Let me open the users and computer. Let me remove that misconfiguration. So I think, yeah, let's go to the properties. And if we go to the security, I think, yeah, and I think, yeah, this user had this right, generic right over this. So what we can do, we can just remove this user from here directly, and yeah. Now we have removed the misconfiguration for performing the RBCD attack. Now this user will not be able to perform this attack. Hence, we can prevent this attack by just removing this simple misconfiguration. I am saying this is a simple misconfiguration, but the effects of this can be
devastating.
Devastating. Yeah, let me go back to the.
So I would suggest. I mean, I would say that, you know, protecting your CA server is very important.
Very important.
For stopping ESC5,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Or maybe have, I think in the mitigation slides I have already also mentioned that maybe we can have some different password for different administrators.
Okay.
So password reuse also can be dangerous, very dangerous. Yeah, let me. I think yeah, same thing here. Remove access control rights to CA computer object. Other thing, use unique password for local administrators.